Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Mike Cockrell, and I want to thank you for joining me for this next episode in the series, Why Am I So Happy? My Prescription for Success and Happiness. You know, if you were here with me on the last one, what we are doing right now is I am going through my book, Why Am I So Happy? And I'm pulling excerpts from the book and sharing with you guys in a series of videos, webinars that I'm recording here so that I can sort of update you. A lot of the information that I have in the book, I've accumulated over the last several years actually. I mean, the book was published almost 2 years ago, and I had been working on it for the better part of a year prior to that. And so what I wanted to do was go through, share some of the thoughts, some of the topics that we covered in the book, but bring them sort of up to date so that they were a little more current with some of my thinking, and also give us a good idea or a good way to look back and see how my thinking has changed on some of these respects over the last 2 or 3 years. So, that being said, this is episode 2, and it's called The Power of Self-Image. Now, what I want to do is start off with a quote, because when I was writing this book, that was part of my daily mindset training, was that I went through, I would go find a quote for the day, and then based on that quote, I would build an essay that basically sort of assimilated my thoughts around that quote. Today's particular quote is from Napoleon Hill, and it says simply, "Our self-image and our habits tend to go together. Change one and you will automatically change the other." So the essay that I wrote a few years ago around this quote was this: "It is difficult to study success and happiness without spending some time reading the works of Napoleon Hill." In his quote today, he really hits the nail on the head when it comes to making changes in our life. If we want to be successful and we want to be happy at the same time, most of us are going to be required to change. Some of us will need to change more than others, but in some way we will all likely need to change. How we see ourselves, our self-image, makes us who we are. If you are not happy with the results you are getting, then there is likely a self-image issue underlying much of this. My behavior is a direct response to my mind's belief about who I am. If I do not see myself as a good salesman, then I likely will not be good at sales. If I do not think I can speak to a group, then I will likely never get up there and try. If I believe that there is no way I could ever write a book, then I will likely not ever even attempt to do so. You get the point. How we think about ourselves will rule what we do with our lives. So many times we tell ourselves that we are not capable of doing things, and so we never try. Do you realize that many of these thoughts we have about what we can or can't do are nothing more than lies? They are not true. In fact, you had little or no control over how most of those thoughts even got into your head. Have you ever wondered why you seem to instinctively know not to stick your hand in the fire or touch a hot stove? It was likely because as a small child you were repeatedly told, "Don't touch that, it's hot." We are not just born knowing that we can't sing, we are trained not to sing. Oftentimes our loving parents, friends, family, and co-workers train us to believe we can't do something, and they don't even realize that they are doing it. These mental memes hold us back from achieving the lifestyle we truly desire. The good thing about all of this is that none of those thoughts have to be permanent. You can change everything about you. That's right, everything. In order to change, you have to be willing to look at things differently. In particular, you have to be willing to start looking at yourself differently. Change the way you think, and the things you think about will begin to change. You have the power to create any life you want. Never let someone else take that power from you. Today, I challenge you to start recreating you. Start dreaming again. Start planning again. Start singing again. Let your desires create the world you want to be a part of. You have the power. You just have to be willing to use it. So, those were my thoughts a couple of years ago, and I'll have to say that most of those thoughts really haven't changed over the last few years. You know, Dr. Wayne Dyer is probably one of my favorite authors of all time when it comes to understanding how we've been programmed to think. And most of the programming that we operate with, if you go back and really examine where did that thinking come from, was instilled within you when you were 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years old. And so if you stop and pause and dwell on that for a moment, then it becomes obvious that why do we as adults, why are we surprised at some of the decisions we're making when we literally are operating in a 3-year-old's thinking pattern? So, if you want to make better decisions, if you want to change your life, if you want to create more health, wealth, and happiness in your life, then you probably need to go back and start changing some of those old thought patterns, because so many times those thoughts were ingrained within us when we were young, when we didn't know what was going on, and we've allowed that program to just run in the background subconsciously over and over and over, and it has actually created everything we have to this point in life. So here's the challenge. If you are not where you want to be in regards to your health, in regards to your wealth, in regards to the happiness in your life, then stop what you're doing, think about what you're doing, and then start making change. Because if you're not willing to change yourself and move forward in a different direction, then you can't improve upon health, wealth, and happiness. You will remain stuck where you're at. So I hope you like this information. If you do, if you find it useful, please feel free to like it and share it with your friends and family. I would love to have your feedback on some of this stuff. I would like to give a very special thanks to Chad Martin and Laurel Rose Publishing. Laurel Rose is the publishing company that put my books together and has helped me promote those over the last couple of years. If you have a book, if you have a course, if you have a class, if you have an idea of something that you would like to put into print, feel free to contact them. You can reach them at www.laurelrosepublishing.com. But all of us have a story to share, and I really want to encourage you to begin to share your story. I would also love for you to connect with me outside of this blog. You can reach me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Dr. Mike Cockrell. I'm on LinkedIn at Dr. Cockrell, or you can email me directly at drmikecockrell@gmail.com. You can also find more of my work at www.drmikecockrell.com or on my blog at www.drcockrell.com. So I look forward to connecting with you. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have a truly great day. Bye-bye.